This guided meditation walks you through 5 ways of letting go, using a variety of imagery to explore how and what we might be holding on to. We'll work through a series of visualizations of holding on and letting go, and allowing ourselves to fall more fully into God's embrace. At various points, I'm going to ask you to grab hold on the edge of your chair, or to hold something in your hands, or hold onto your body, to shrug your shoulders, and eventually to stand up. When I do that, I invite you to actually use your hands and your shoulders. Many people find it produces a more vivid internal picture. So take a moment now and see if you can easily grab your chair or put your arms around yourself, given where you're seated. Take a second and find a journal or paper and pen, something to write with that's handy just right nearby you so that you don't have to go find it afterwards. The meditation ends with a visualization of you standing in the light of God. I'll ask you to rest in that profound love for as long as you want. And then when you're ready, after the meditation ends, go ahead and sit down and make a few notes in your journal about whatever you experienced. I'm going to read a passage from St. Teresa of Avila, and about a sort of a meditative passage that sets the stage for us for this visualization exercise. And then I'm going to go walk you through 5 waves of letting go. At the beginning of each wave, I'll say wave 1, wave 2, etc. So, are you ready? Do you feel relaxed and comfortable? Don't hesitate to stop the video now and go get everything set for yourself and comfortable for yourself, and then come back. Make sure the sound quality is okay from where you're sitting so that you don't have to fiddle with it in the middle. And now, I just want to ask you to sit back and relax, close your eyes, bring your attention to this present moment. A reading from the writings of St. Teresa of Avila. It is necessary that the soul be resolute and courageous in order to risk all, come what may, and abandon itself into the hands of God and go willingly wherever it is brought. When we thank God for wonderful blessings, responding with works according to our strength, the Lord gathers up the soul in the way clouds gather up earthly vapors, and raises the soul completely out of itself. The cloud ascends to heaven and brings the soul along, and begins to show it the things of the kingdom that God has prepared for it. Without any forethought or any help, there frequently comes a force so swift and powerful that one sees and feels this cloud, this mighty eagle, raise the soul up and carry it aloft on its wings. Many times I wanted to resist, but with a great loss of energy, as when someone fights with a giant and afterwards is worn out. It was impossible for me to resist, but this force carried off my soul, and sometimes my whole body, until it was raised from the ground. I was conscious in such a way that I could understand I was being elevated, and such a majesty was revealed about the one who can do this that it makes a person's hair stand on edge. It doesn't seem God is satisfied in bringing the soul to God's self, but it seems God desires the body. The experience also leaves a rare detachment, for now the spirit is completely detached from things. It seems that the Lord wants to effect this detachment in the body. The soul no longer wants to desire. It gives God the keys of the will and sees clearly that everything, other than pleasing God, is nothing. If I was holding on to some superfluous thing, I could not recollect myself until I gave the thing up. I was very attached, but the Lord granted me this favor. From that day on, I was very courageous in abandoning all for God, as one who wanted, from that moment, to change completely. May God be blessed forever, because in an instant, God gave me the freedom that all the years of effort could not attain. It was accomplished by the one who is the true and powerful God of all. Now we're going to begin the waves of the meditation. Feel relaxed. Wave 1. I want you to imagine that you are in that space of zero gravity, a vapor, as Teresa urges, a place where our souls are being gathered up, where we are being raised out of ourselves, and if we accept, are able to go willingly to wherever we are being brought. Imagine you are being shown new things, things that resonate with some deepest longings, that are signs of a more generous space, wanting to be born in you and around you. In fact, it's not only in your imagination. You are there, right on the threshold of a great invitation, that of falling into the hands of the living God. And yet, in the face of this captivating, intoxicating force, you discover something is, or some things are holding you back. You still see places in your life that challenge your courage, or maybe your resolution, places of evident limitation, or maybe it's just an old failure that's haunting you. Maybe a voice from within, or even an external voice, keeps reminding you of these limitations. Bring to mind some of that so-called evidence against your courage and resolve. Some of those senses of limitations or critical voices in your life that hold you back from a deeper reality. Clasp your hands together as if you were holding those limitations or critical voices between your palms. Hold them tight. Grip them. Hold on. And now open your hands. Let them fall. Let these limitations drop away from you and rise further into the love that holds you and leads you. Wave 2. As you move further towards that gracious space, that invitation you know is a divine one, you discover resistance. What is the resistance that encumbers you, that exhausts you? Holding that resistance in mind, grip the sides of your chair as though you are in a wrestling match. Wrestle with that resistance. Grab it. Tussle with it back and forth, holding on. Hold on and tightly grapple with it. And as you do, you discover that you are clearly the stronger force. In fighting with it, it begins to weaken, and you realize you can begin to let it go. Releasing each finger, one at a time, finger by finger. Let go of that resistance. Let it go. Unclench your grip fully and recognize your resistance. It no longer blocks you. You can indeed fall further into the arms of love. Wave 3. Teresa talks about being invited to give to God the keys of your will. Consider the illusion that there is a heaviness or a weight or maybe some walls, something inside of you or acting upon you that keeps you stuck or chained or imprisoned in the mundane or the profane, in the business as usual status quo. Maybe you find yourself saying, if I could just do this, or if I could only get out from under that, then I would be free to follow where God leads. It's a place you thought maybe once, maybe it protected you, but now you're beginning to see that it may actually imprison or limit you from becoming who God is calling you to become. Bring to mind a key that unlocks the way in which you see yourself chained or imprisoned in your current persona, in your role, in your life right now, in your job description, in your understanding of yourself maybe. Take that key and visualize God's hand helping you to unlock the weight or the walls or whatever is imprisoning you. Unlock it, open it up, leave behind the heaviness, the status quo weighing you down. Shrug your shoulders for a little bit, shrug off the weight, and step into a new, lighter way of being. Real freedom, a lighter existence. The limitations no longer acting upon you. You are free. Wave 4. As you move further into the arms of God, the arms of love, you realize that this invitation is anything but abstract. It asks more of you than you had anticipated. It encompasses your thoughts and your commitments, your life aspirations, all of you, soul and body. It means giving up cherished ideas or roles or patterns. You encounter the fear that accompanies this truth. With your hair standing on end, allow the fear to be present in you. Imagine the fear is in your center. Imagine you could grab onto it. Clasp your arms around that fear. Meet the fear. Now pull it a little bit outside of your center. Hold on to it. You have it now. Grip it. And then open your arms and let it go. Wave 5. Who are the actual giants you wrestle with? Colleagues? Parishioners? Family members? Friends? Self-worth? Doctrine? How does the ongoing wrestling match distract you from rising into your true divine potential? What are you holding on to that is also holding on to you? What is keeping your hands full or your fists clenched that is closing off your heart to the enormous gifts God is waiting patiently to give you? What is that last tight, frayed rope or string, or maybe it's just a thread that's keeping you from rising out of your chair and floating above it all? Say thank you to it for all the ways it has served you. But now, consider the ways you might sever that last tie. Let it unravel. Take a scissors and cut it. Do what you need to do now to sever that last tie. And as you do, you discover that you can stand up now, rising into grace and love. Stand for a minute. Allow the loving arms of God, the shining light of the most divine one, flow over you and around you, lifting you up, pouring love into your heart, allowing you to flower into the most amazing you that God created you to be. Rest now for as many moments as you need in the light that surrounds and enfolds you.